Welcome back. Well, as anti-Semitism runs rampant in this country, as it has for almost 2 years, it seems Labor is still dragging its heels. Education Minister Jason Clare has signalled the government won't be moving quickly on the recommendations from Gillian Siegel's anti-Semitism report.
We're considering it carefully. We've got to consult as part of that. I want to see what the Special Envoy on Islamophobia has to say as well. I think that's fair. I think that's the right thing to do.
Joining me now is Executive Council of Australian Jewry co-CEO Peter Wertheim. Peter, thanks for your time. We're talking about delays that could now drag on for months, but once again, Labor seems to conflate the issue of anti-Semitism with Islamophobia. What do you have to say to that?
Yes, it's back to the bad old days of 21 months ago when every time anti-Semitism was mentioned, the government felt the need to bracket it with Islamophobia. It shows a complete lack of understanding of, I think, of both anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. And frankly, kicking the can down the road is not leadership. I can understand that some things require planning and time. I mean, education reform and curriculum reform and professional development, all the things that go with it, need planning. They need careful consideration. It does take some time. But to condition the whole thing on the Islamophobia report, Islamophobia envoy coming up with a report, is incomprehensible to me. Anti-Semitism, Islamophobia and other forms of racism and bigotry all have their own special histories, their own causes, their own particular features, their own tropes, and they require special individual care and attention. And not sort of this mishmash idea of mixing them all up and bracketing them all together and making action on one very urgent problem, namely anti-Semitism, conditional upon dealing with another problem. It just seems to me an abrogation of responsibility, and it's very disappointing from the point of view of the Jewish community.
No, look, I completely agree with you, and that report's just sitting on Labor's desk, and nothing's going to happen for a few months now. Now, Israel has struck Syria's military headquarters and Ministry of Defence in Damascus. The attack was captured live on state TV. Have a look at this.
سيواصل مهاجمة قوات.
Peter, why did Israel target Syria, and what does this now mean for the conflict?
Look, those are very confronting images on any view, but like everything, it has a context. You can't just judge the international political conflicts on the basis of superficial images that propagated by social media, because there is so much outside of those images that they don't tell you that contextualise the whole thing and make it more explicable. In the case of Syria, well, for decades, Syria was under the control of one of the most brutal dictatorships on the planet, that of Hafez Assad and his son Bashar, and they ruled Syria with an iron fist. Now, Syria is a complex country. It consists of a lot of minority religious and ethnic communities, and for much of its history, the majority Sunni population mistreated a lot of these minority groups in a very severe way. And we saw echoes of that with parts of Syria that came under Islamic State control some years ago, where they just butchered religious minority communities. Now, under Assad, for all his brutality, religious minority communities like the Alawi sect, of which the president was one, and the Druze, got off relatively unscathed. I mean, they were generally left alone as long as they showed loyalty to the regime.
Yeah.
With the fall of the Assad regime and the takeover of Syria by a former Islamic State, Al-Qaeda terrorist leader who is now recasting himself as a conventional political leader, things have reverted back to what they traditionally were, with minority communities once again being very anxious about their security. And the Druze are foremost among them. And Israel has come in because Israel has a very significant Druze community of its own. And they have demanded action to protect their Druze brethren in Syria.
Yeah.
And the Druze in Syria, who are traditionally very loyal to their government, have now sought that protection as well and have welcomed it.
We're almost out of time, but just very quickly, I want to get your response to this. In the last hour, released Israeli hostage Aviva Siegel, who Shari Markson interviewed for the one-year anniversary of October 7, has made an impassioned plea for the remaining hostages to be freed. She was sat next to her husband, who was also taken hostage, then released. Have a listen to this.
We need to stop that. And it needs to stop. The war needs to stop. The hostages need to come home. The Hamas terrorists need to release the hostages, and everything will end.
Peter, we're almost out of time, but very quickly, Aviva's message is very simple. If Hamas release the hostages now, the war ends.
Exactly. Hamas planned and started the war. They have lost the war. Their leaders are dead. They have made a mess of Gaza. They have ruined the lives of the Palestinians of Gaza with the war they started. And they can end the war tomorrow by releasing the hostages and laying down their arms.
Absolutely.
That's all that has to happen. And people should be calling for that to happen, as this heartfelt plea from these parents articulated so well.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Peter Wertheim, appreciate your time. Thanks very much for joining me on the show.